Hey there, this is Gabri Fiorenza, and I'm here to share the process I am personally following to build the ICP for my software agency, Daedalus XR. Daedalus XR is an Italian-based software agency specialized in the field of virtual reality for manufacturing companies in Italy. We have a year revenue of 250k euros for 2026, but right now we are building a new sales systems to go from luck and referral to a structured and predictable system that can grow our agency. So the first step that I am following is precisely define which is the ICP for my company. Because we have already worked with a lot of different companies in different fields like cultural field or like for example museums or cultural institutions. We have also worked with other software agencies which are doing of course different kind of development work. And we have also worked with a little bit of manufacturing companies, but right now we are focused on being more vertical on a specific niche. Because I personally believe that when your software agency become more vertical in a niche, this can skyrocket your business because you can start to build case studies, you can start to speak the niche language of your target audience, you can start to be recognized as a go-to expert for that specific niche. So still, I don't know which niche can be addressed by Daedalus XR, by my software agency. So that's why I am doing a lot of research on internet, because somehow I feel that the manufacturing field is the best one for Daedalus XR, but at the same time I would like to be more vertical on one of the sub-niches of the manufacturing field, because the manufacturing market is really complex, really large and well developed in Italy. The first idea that I am pursuing is the field of robotics, because Italy is one of the countries in the world that are using robotics the most. So we have a lot of robotics installation in our manufacturing companies. So that's why we have a robotic system integrator. This is our main ICP. This document is in Italian, so of course maybe you can't read it unless you can speak Italian or you are Italian. But the main idea is that robotic system integrator are those kind of companies that don't produce robots themselves, but they purchase robots and then they install these robots in other manufacturing companies that require some kind of automation. So the main job of a robotic system integrator is to build the software, to purchase the machines, and to make all of them work together in order to reach a consistent automation for their clients. I have already defined some kind of characteristics for this ICP thanks to Claude. I have run some particular kind of prompts to build this document, which is the foundation of our ICP idea, because of course I need to remember that this is an idea, this is an hypothesis, we still have to validate it, and this is what I am doing. So this is what my co-founders and I are focused on doing in these upcoming weeks. I've realized that Daedalus XR and also my technical knowledge is very limited in this field, because it's a very technical field with a lot of technical stuff. As we said, it's a niche, so I was expecting that it's normal. That's why I feel like I need to study a little bit to understand what are all the technical side of working with robots. Studied a lot today, so this is my update for the work I've done today. I've read a lot of articles. I noticed that there is a lot of regulations about robot safety, and this can be a good point for us. I understood what is a PLC. So it's basically a machine, a computer that controls all the robotic cell. And this can be interesting for us because we need to learn some kind of this technical stuff. And another interesting thing that we have understood is that simulation is crucial, because thanks to simulation you can basically train your robots before even installing it. So you can avoid a lot of costly mistakes. For example, if you have installed the cell and then it doesn't work or it has some kind of issues. Also, you can check if you're investing in the right robots, because of course there are a lot of different machines out there. A good system integrator should be able to find those kind of robots that are perfect for their clients. And also, thanks to simulation, you can communicate how the cell will look and work. And I think this is one of the most interesting problems that Daedalus-XR can focus on, because I imagine that building a robot is a very technical process, so probably the final client doesn't understand anything about these technical documents that are produced from simulations and stuff. So maybe system integrators need a more simple way to communicate the value of their work to their clients so that the clients can acquire easier. And I think this is an interesting pain point, because if they manage to have a good software, a good way to showcase the benefits of the robot systems, the robot cell they are building, system integrators can sell faster and easier. And of course, in this kind of B2B context, selling is a very slow process. So whatever kind of solution that accelerates this selling, I think that could be like a great advantage. So I guess that this is one of the first pain points that Daedalus-XR will focus on. And also I've discovered that there are a couple of software that already do something similar. For example, this ProSim 3D is kind of an industrial simulation platform. So you can basically simulate whatever behavior of whatever robot, and then you can easily showcase it to the clients. This lives in the same problem space of what I was telling you before. And you know, whenever you find a competitor who is doing something similar, this is a good sign that the problem is actually felt and is actually strong. There is also this other software that is doing something similar. This looks more complex, more fancy, and he does very great names so on its websites. So probably this is a bigger company, but again, this is a good sign for this kind of problem that is really strong and felt by our target customers. On the other side, to be honest, this kind of software is very complicated because it doesn't work only on visualization side, but also on simulation side. And still we don't have the skills to build something similar. I've also studied a little bit of Isaac Sim, which is the software offered by NVIDIA Omniverse, and this is the cutting-edge, groundbreaking software for physics for robot simulation. So this can probably be our next step in terms of acquiring new knowledge to penetrate this ICP. But before diving deep in this kind of studying, I would prefer to have a little bit of more validation if this is the right problem to address. So that's it for today. This is the research I've done today, and I am building this ICP in public just to show you how a software agency can actually grow and scale. So if you're interested in following all of my processes and all of my wins and of course issues and problems, you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you for listening. Let me know in the comments what are your opinions about that.